What happens when you confess to the worst crime possible? You expect punishment, right?
I did. I killed him.
Euron Greyjoy confessed to killing the king who was also his own brother. Regicide and kinslaying at the same time. What could be worse? Did he face justice? Did the Ironborn turn against him? Not really. Instead, they gave him the crown. He had no army behind him, no real political power. All he used was words. With only a few lines, he dismantled Yara's claim, humiliated Theon, and turned his worst crime into his strongest argument. He convinced the Ironborn that he was exactly the king they needed. How did he do that?
I am Yara Greyjoy, daughter of Balon Greyjoy. I claim the Salt Throne.
Of course, she faces the classic Ironborn misogyny.
We've never had a queen. Not once.
Their culture worships physical dominance and raiding. A female ruler is something they don't even consider. Even though Yara is a proven warrior, she still has to fight against centuries of dogma.
There are many things we've never done. We've never made our mark upon the world. The great lords of Westeros pay us no mind. We are a sea people. Our god is a sea god.
She is not doing particularly well so far. What Yara is saying here is a generic politician's election speech. Just a bunch of vague, loud words meaning nothing concrete.
When I am queen, we will build a fleet. The likes I am not finished.
Yes, you are.
She gets cut off before she can say what that fleet will actually do. She takes way too long to get to the point, and people start losing patience.
A woman will not lead us. Not when Balon's own male heir is returned.
Come on, Theon. Looks like your sister needs you.
I am Theon Greyjoy, last living son of Balon Greyjoy. And she is your rightful ruler.
Theon doesn't want the crown. He does something incredibly rare. He refuses his own claim in public.
She is a reaver. She is a warrior. This is our queen.
Theon seems to be a better orator than Yara. He ignores the gender problem and jumps right into the stuff that the Ironborn value. She is a warrior, and everyone knows it. That's what matters. With the king's male heir's support, her claim gets much stronger. The crowd's resistance dissolves. For a brief moment, Yara has the throne in her grasp. And then the horn blows and Euron walks in.
I'm Euron Greyjoy. I claim the Salt Throne.
Well, okay. In the show, there is no horn. He just walks in.
Niece. Nephew. Little Theon.
And he destroys everything they have just achieved with a few lines.
Heard you managed to things right into the ground. Captured a castle you couldn't keep. Got yourself taken prisoner.
The brilliance of his speech is that he doesn't lie. He just takes Theon's real history and presents it in the most humiliating way possible. A moment ago, Theon looked like a returned prince, the rightful male heir, standing next to Yara and giving her his support. But Euron turns him into a liability. He reminds everyone of Theon's screw-ups at Winterfell, and after that, Theon's support stops looking powerful. It starts looking like another weakness in Yara's claim.
Even heard you have no cock. Explains why you think a woman can be king.
Did you notice the wording? He doesn't use the word queen. The very concept of a ruling female is entirely missing from the traditional Ironborn worldview. He is essentially saying, to want her on the throne is to want a woman to be a man. He ties Theon's missing parts directly to Yara's lack of them. In his framing, neither of them is a whole man, so neither is fit to sit on the Salt Throne.
When did you return, Uncle?
A few days ago. I had some things to take care of. Long overdue.
Yara doesn't defend herself or Theon. She feels she is losing ground fast and tries to pivot by asking a basic question, simply because she has to say something. Euron's reply is a quiet, menacing flex. The subtext here is, while you two were failing, I was taking care of business. It creates instant intrigue. He didn't just drift back to the islands, he arrived with a purpose. And people now want to know what it is.
I'm glad you're here. Now I know what my first act as queen will be. To execute the man who killed my father.
She tries to regain the upper hand by using the law. She thinks she has him cornered. Killing your king is treason. Killing your brother is kinslaying, one of the ultimate sins in Westeros. and you can see that the crowd reacts. Looks like they are ready to turn on him. And what does Euron do? He doesn't deny or make excuses.
I did. I killed him. Threw him right over a rope bridge and watched him fall.
He proudly owns it. By giving the details of the murder, Euron demonstrates how confident he is. He is standing in front of a crowd of armed warriors and admitting to treason. To the Ironborn, this level of audacity is impressive. They are all ears.
He was leading us nowhere, and we would still be heading there if it weren't for me.
Euron successfully reframes a cowardly, backstabbing murder as a public service, and he reinforces it even further.
No one loved him. No one wanted to follow him. He led us into 2 wars we couldn't win.
See how he structures this. His first 2 statements, no one loved him, no one wanted to follow him, are subjective. The king obviously had loyalists, but then he immediately pairs those statements with a truthful one about the war. It is likely most captains in that crowd lost brothers, sons, and ships because of these failed rebellions. Because the final claim is true, the first 2 begin to feel true as well.
I apologize to you all for not killing him years ago.
For us, it sounds like some dark comedy line, but for the Ironborn, it's completely different. See the crowd's reaction. They just agree with him. Why? By showing zero remorse and total confidence, he signals to the crowd that he is a man of action who does what is necessary, regardless of rules or morals. Yara's legal argument is dead. The Ironborn respect strength above all else, and Euron has just proven he has the most nerve in the room.
That would have been hard to do. You weren't here. Last I heard, you were gallivanting around the world, having a grand old time.
Theon has a point. Euron has been away for years. Who would choose a complete stranger to take the crown? But see how Euron twists that point and uses it against Theon.
Gallivanting? That's the sort of thing you start to say once your dick gets chopped off. But the great lords of Westeros teach you words like that.
He doesn't defend his absence. Instead, he goes straight back to the castration joke and uses it as a smoke bomb. Because the crowd is a bunch of brutal raiders, they laugh and completely forget that Theon had a point. But his next strike is even stronger. When Euron mocks the word gallivanting, he mentions the great lords of Westeros, the people the Ironborn hate. He reminds the entire crowd that Theon was raised in Winterfell by Ned Stark, one of those great lords. He ate their food, slept in their castle, learned their highborn words, and wore their soft clothes. And now it's not Euron who is a stranger here. It's Theon, a mutilated former hostage raised by enemies. But the real genius of his strategy is in his next line. If you like breakdowns like this, please like and subscribe. Thank you.
You were gone. Yara was here, leading Ironborn, getting ready to bring us back to glory.
And how would she do that?
Euron doesn't argue or deny anything. He just asks one simple, devastating question. And how would she do that? This is the ultimate trap. He knows Yara still hasn't offered anything besides her record and her claim, and he forces her to expose the weakness in her plan by laying her cards on the table first, and she walks right into the trap.
I will build the largest fleet the world has ever seen.
This is weak. It's just a generic statement. It has no strategy, no target, no allies, and no timeline. By making her speak first, Euron makes his own proposal much stronger.
Right idea. Except I'm the one who's going to build the Iron Fleet, because I'm the one who knows how to use it.
Why does he say that? Yara is an experienced captain. She also knows how to use ships. But the scale is different. She has been raiding local villages and coastal castles. It's small-time piracy. Euron is another story.
I've been all over the world. I've seen more of it than all of you combined.
Again, he is not lying. He is a brilliant captain. The show doesn't give us much about him, but the books are more thorough. He has sailed the Sunset Sea. He even claims to have sailed through the ruins of Valyria, a place almost every captain avoids. He commands the Silence, a legendary warship crewed by men whose tongues he has removed. If you've ever tried to sail even a small yacht, you could imagine how much skill and discipline it takes to handle a full-scale sailing ship with outspoken commands. And later, he actually proves it. He manages to sneak up on Yara and take her hostage. So when Euron says, "I'm the one who knows how to use it," the captains in the crowd have reason to believe him.
And across the sea, there is a person who hates the great lords of Westeros just as much as we do.
And now you can see the difference between a generic campaign speech and a real plan.
Someone with a large army, 3 large dragons, and no husband.
Because Euron gives specifics. He has found a good potential ally. He lists exactly what Daenerys has. He is offering the Ironborn the one thing they have craved for centuries, a return to the days when they ruled mainland kingdoms.
I'm going to build that fleet, and I'm going to gallivant right over and give it to Daenerys Targaryen, along with my big cock.
Beneath the crude joke is another political message, a dynasty. He presents himself as whole and capable of producing the heirs who could secure this future empire.
You're going to seduce the Dragon Queen.
I'm not going to seduce her. The Iron Fleet will seduce her.
Yara tries to frame it as a childish, romantic fantasy. But Euron's response is arguably his smartest line in the entire scene. He isn't relying on charm or feelings. He is relying on leverage. Daenerys already has power on land and in the air. He is offering her the only thing she lacks: domination at sea. It is a cold, transactional alliance. By phrasing it this way, he sounds like a brilliant, practical strategist, not a daydreamer.
And together we're going to take the 7 kingdoms. I wasn't born to be king. I paid the iron price. And here I stand.
So all the crowd has heard from Yara is build ships. Euron takes that exact same idea, wraps it in a concrete geopolitical alliance, and hands the crowd a roadmap to conquer Westeros. And that is not all. He relies on their core religious and cultural dogma, the Iron Price. Yara's claim is still partly based on birthright. From Euron's perspective, relying on who your father was looks close to paying the gold price, something that is deeply despised on the Iron Islands.
Iron or gold?
Gold.
Euron didn't ask for permission and didn't wait for an inheritance. He killed the old king and seized the opening he created. He paid the iron price for the throne. By the end of this speech, he has checked every single box the Ironborn care about. He has an impressive resume, a realistic plan to conquer the 7 kingdoms. He promises a dynasty, and he embodies the violent philosophy of their religion. But he makes one mistake. He does not secure Yara and Theon, and they manage to flee. They reach Daenerys first, and his entire brilliant plan is over before it even begins. But that does not change what happened here. Yara had the better claim, but Euron had the better answer. Now tell me in the comments, what do you think could happen if Euron reached Daenerys first? Because for me, it's one of the most fascinating what-ifs. And don't forget to like and subscribe.